So in this video, I wanted to take a really quick look at a pen from Zebra. This is called the Zebra Slide Mini, or the SL-F1 Mini ballpoint pen. This is a pen I picked up just because it was cheap and it looked interesting. These sell for about $4 or $5. And it is much smaller than I expected. I guess when I bought it, there were no comparison pictures online. It was just the pen on its own, so it doesn't look too small. But once I got it in-house, I was shocked about how tiny this thing is. It is only 3.3 inches when retracted, so each of these little markers is ½ inch. So not even 3.5 inches retracted. And it's a telescopic pen, so what it does is when you want to use it, you pull it out. And when you pull it out, the tip points out, comes out, and now it expands out to, it's 1, 2, 3, a little bit over 4 inches. So expanded, it is still a tiny pen. But like I said, I picked it up. It was about $4, $5, around that price range. They're fairly available, fairly easy to find, but not that popular. And upon getting it in-house, I quickly understood why it was not popular, because it is just hilariously tiny. Like, it's the sort of thing that you could throw in a bag or in a, like, your luggage and write down something with, but only a quick note, because it is tiny. And this is, even for people with smaller hands, it's on the small side. Here it is next to just a standard Sharpie. You could see it is very, very small. The good news, though, is it's highly portable. So it retracts, and it's quite tiny, like that. And here's that action again. Basically, it's retracted, and you can see the refill hides. You pull out, and it's got a smooth action. When you invert it, it's less smooth, but it is a relatively smooth action. As for the pen itself, this body feels like coated metal, but it might be plastic. Up here is definitely metal clip. Clip is firm, which is nice for something as small, but it's the type of thing that you're going to put into a bag and probably not think about too often. This end piece is spring-loaded, and that's how this works. The pen uses a D1 refill, and you get at it not by turning here, that won't do anything, but by turning this front piece and pulling this off. So you pull out here, and you can see it has a D1 style refill. It ships with just a standard D1 from Zebra called the 4C07. I think that's just kind of their standard deal. And I don't think the pen comes apart past that, at least from a user serviceable standpoint. That's all there is to it. So putting it back together, pop this in here, slide this in, screw it down. Build quality on it is, I would say, fine. Definitely it has a nice weight to it, given its size, and the action is relatively smooth. And then it's quite small when it's closed up. Just looking at it like that, or maybe look at it next to that Zebra Fortia, which is also a very slim pen, but you could see it is like twice the length of this mini one almost, and expanded. Even then, it's a good deal larger. And here it is as for like the actual writing instrument. We'll line up the tips, and you could see about a full inch on the end of this Fortia, which is not a huge pen. So even if you don't have big hands, this thing is quite small to write with, and it's very narrow as well. But feels nice, and it's very portable, which is sort of the goal here. It doesn't ship with a whole lot of information. We could just see made in China, and that's about it. No real pricing or anything like that. Doesn't even have the model. Oh, there you go, 300 yen, sorry. And then I don't even think that BA55 IGY is the refill. It just uses a standard D1 refill. And again, this is the Zebra Slide Mini also known as the SL-F1. I've done a little bit of writing with this refill, and it's fine. It's kind of I'd say a cheaper Ballpoint D1. Nothing fancy, gets the job done, but it's not like particularly fun to write with or anything you would kind of brag about. You could replace this with some nicer D1s, but this one that comes with it is just sort of fine for day-to-day writing, jotting down a quick note, writing down someone's address, sorry about that, putting down a phone number when you need to, and then locking it back up and forgetting about it for a while. And that's a ballpoint. It ships with this ballpoint refill. That's what it's good for. These won't really dry out over time, and you could leave it for a couple weeks, wipe off whatever dust or grime has collected from your bag, and start writing without any serious problems. SL-F1. So it definitely gets the job done there. I probably, for a pen like this, you could swap out the refill, but it's never going to be that much more comfortable to write with. So you might as well keep something in there that could write on as many surfaces as possible, and the ink's not going to sort of wipe off or anything like that or dry out over time. So ballpoint makes sense for that. So yeah, that is the Zebra SL-F1 mini ballpoint, a telescopic ballpoint, but one that is much, much smaller than I expected. So if you need something tiny to throw in a bag or throw in a notebook, it's a good choice, but fair warning on how small this thing is.